Hi guys, it's Alyssa from simplyquinoa.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make my 5-ingredient quinoa pizza crust recipe. This is one of the most popular recipes on my website, and for good reason. It's easy, it's healthy, and it is delicious. When I first went gluten-free, I was always looking for a healthy pizza option. I could never find one at the grocery store, so I finally decided to create one, and it has been a fan favorite ever since. It's a thin crust, it holds up to all sorts of toppings, and it is so simple to make. We're making everything in our blender, and again, it's only using 5 ingredients, so you guys are going to love this recipe. Let's go ahead and dive in. So the base of our pizza is quinoa, and the key to getting this smooth batter is to actually soak your quinoa overnight. So you're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of dry quinoa into a bowl or a Pyrex container. You can just top this with water, and you're gonna just let it soak. You wanna make sure that you give it at least an inch of water at the top so that when the quinoa starts to absorb a little of the water, it doesn't get too dry. And again, just let this sit on your counter. You can let it sit at room temperature overnight or for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. Once your quinoa has soaked, you are going to pour it into a fine mesh strainer, and you can just let the water drain out and then rinse the quinoa so that you get all of that extra water and you're kind of cleaning it because it's been soaking overnight. From there, you can add it into your blender and go ahead with the rest of your ingredients. We'll top the quinoa with 1/4 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of oil, you could use any oil that you like, some baking powder, and a pinch of sea salt. And then we're just going to blend this all up until it's smooth and creamy. This is not your traditional pizza dough that you roll out. This is more like a pancake batter, but I promise it will still cook up like a beautiful pizza. So you'll pour your quinoa batter onto a prepared baking pan. I like to use a round pan just so that I can get that round pizza. And make sure that you also line it with parchment paper. And I also actually give my parchment paper a spray just to make sure that there's no sticking. Smooth it over with a spatula, make sure you get into all of the corners, and then we'll pop this in a 425-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Once it's baked for 15 minutes, you're gonna remove it from the oven, and then we'll just flip it over, and we'll cook the pizza on the other side for another 10 minutes or so. From here, you can either leave the crust plain and freeze it, or you can go ahead and make your pizza. So I'm gonna make a really simple base here, just tomato sauce and vegan cheese. But again, this is a crust that holds up to all types of toppings, so go ahead and go crazy. For me, I like to do about 1/2 cup of red sauce. You could also do pesto, of course, which is delicious. Spread it all over so it's nice and even with the back of a spoon, and then just sprinkle it with your cheese. I am using vegan cheese because I don't eat dairy, but again, you could use any type of cheese that you want, or you could leave the cheese off. And then you can just pop it back in the oven, cook for about another 10 minutes or so, just basically until the cheese is melted and those toppings are nice and cooked. Pull it out. You can let it sit for about 5 minutes, but I like to just dive in right away, so I'll just slice it up into slices. I find that this crust is good for 2 servings. It's definitely something that you can double. If you want to use a large baking pan, you can easily double the recipe and make a larger pizza, or you can make 2. And again, it's really versatile, so it goes with all types of flavors, and I really think that it's going to become your new go-to pizza recipe. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. I would love to see a photo if you end up making your own quinoa pizza. You can tag me on Instagram using @simplyquinoa or using #simplyquinoa. And of course, the full instructions and ingredient list and blog post, more photos, all that good stuff is up on my website. You can go to simplyquinoa.com to get that. So thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.